How has COVID impacted you?
Well, oh, actually, COVID has allowed me to do porn. The industry's doing some great stuff with safety, of course, which I'm very grateful for. But the fact that I've been able to finish my last semester of college remotely is what's allowing me to be like on a plane to Vegas and then on a plane to LA. Like I have literally been in classes right after shoots. Like I come in with my stage makeup to the hotel in Vegas. I'm like, oh yes, professor, yes, I will answer that question about political theory now. Yeah, I'm here because of COVID.
Where are you from originally?
California.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, yep.
Did you go to public school, private school?
Public school my whole life, yeah.
In grade school, did you have a favorite subject?
Oh, it's always been history. I'm a little bit of a nerd for the history of war in particular.
At that point in your life, do you have any idea what you wanted to do with the rest of your life?
I actually, I wanted to be a politician for a very long time. I actually held a position in the city where my college is located, and I spent a lot of time at the local city council office working on local legislation. And as much fun as that was, and as passionate as I was about improving the lives of people around me, it's very slow work, and it takes a career in politics to make people just a little bit happier or a little bit better off. And I think there's something gratifying about being involved in giving people, orgasms all the time. I think.
Finish grade school, you go to high school. Are you the popular girl, the loner, the geek, the nerd?
Ooh, I was the editor of my high school newspaper. So I was a nerd, but I was also sleeping with everyone. So I don't know what that says.
Did you get a reputation because of that?
Little bit. I was also like a goth punk, so I am very outspoken. I won most opinionated in my graduating yearbook. That was out of my 1,000-person class. That was my label. So I don't know what that says about me, but.
Did you ever look for you in high school? Everybody's got a look, like the guy type of guy that you were into.
I'm bisexual, so I dated both women and men in high school. I really like intellectuals of both genders. I like people who are a little bit smarter than me, and particularly people with, actually, girls with blue hair were my type in high school. I dated a lot of very smart girls with very blue hair, yeah.
Physical attributes, did that matter?
It's more about intelligence and confidence for both men and women, yeah.
Did you send selfies and stuff to everybody or your friends, or?
I did. Selfies for sure. I will say, once I was 18, everyone was taking nudes. So I would make little videos for my various lovers. And I would get very creative with it. I would, have a video of me fucking myself or doing something slutty. And then I would just be talking about politics, and I would kind of throw some interesting anecdotes. It would be oh yes, and the news this morning, I was very surprised to discover that Mike Pence just came out as bisexual, and and they would just listen to it and be oh, and absorb the information, and it was fun. It was fun. And then the next day they would all be oh, did you hear that Mike Pence came out as bisexual? And I was where did you hear that? I had fun with that kind of pranking in my porn videos when I was 18. Yeah.
Did the people you send the photos or videos to swear they wouldn't give them or show them to anybody else, but they did anyway?
Oh no! I wanted people to spread my news as much as they wanted.
You finished high school. Do you know what you want to do with your life at that point?
Yeah, I wanted to go to one of the best colleges in my state, which I did, and I wanted to go to a good college and then eventually law school, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just having a lot more fun with it than I expected to. I was always the academic nerd in class, and then getting in a lot of trouble for having a lot of sex on campus outside of class. So it's always been kind of a dual thing.
Remember the first time you saw adult-related material?
I had a very big crush on Melina Morgan, who's a like very beautiful, like high fashion, like X art, primarily lesbian porn star. And I still remember the first video of her that I saw, and I remember seeing like little tattoos on her hip bones, and like, that is the most glamorous woman I've ever seen in my life. So I've definitely always watched a lot of porn.
When you watched the material, did the thought ever cross your mind that I could do that?
It actually didn't for a very long time. I've always loved sex. I think I've always loved recreational sex. So doing it as a performer had never occurred to me because I just wanted to be doing it for fun.
When you watch porn, do you consciously, subconsciously imagining yourself doing whatever it is you're watching?
Sometimes. I definitely, when I like a performer a lot, I look for them with people who look like me. So definitely so I can project myself into that role.
Would you be turned on by having sex with a twin of yourself?
Yeah. No relation, but yeah, as long as they weren't genetically related to me, yes.
For you, how do you make the transition then from after high school to getting in the adult industry? Do you Google it? Do you?
Well, I spent most of college visiting sex clubs in a nearby city on the weekends. So it was really, it was a slow progression. I think the night that really did it was one time after final exams, just last winter actually. I went to a concert with my friends from school, and one of them had a job as a secretary at an adult company very close to the concert venue. And so he was like, well, after the show, let's go have a private tour of the company. And so he took my companions and I over to the porn office for a private tour. And, it was me and three of him and then two other guy friends. And, at some point throughout the night, we'd all been drinking a little bit, and we were finally got to his office, and one thing led to another, and I ended up getting double teamed over his desk. And in the middle of that night, which was one of the best of my life, I remember kind of looking over at like all the camera equipment on the walls and thinking, it would be pretty hot if we were filming this. And ever since then, it's really been a fantasy to be doing this for real.
You get connected with LA Direct Models.
I knew that they represented some of the most incredible performers in the business, like Adriana, and I was a fan of Bella Elise Rose prior to being in the industry myself. So they were the first agency I sent pictures to, and I really reached out to them rather than them recruiting me. I was like, please take me on, and I was amazed and delighted when they called me back.
Your first professional scene, was it a boy-girl? Was it a girl-girl?
My very first one was a boy-girl for Come 4K, which has not come out yet. This was actually only about 2 months ago, so I'm still pretty new. I've done a dozen-ish scenes, and only 3 of them are out, but there are a lot more coming.
For you, what's the experience like going to the set? I mean, are you nervous, excited? What was that like, your first set? You walk in, and I don't know the guy's name for sake of discussion. We'll call him Johnny. You go to the set and you say, hi, I'm Johnny. I'll be working with you today. Did that turn you on knowing you'd be having sex with a stranger?
Oh, he wasn't a stranger. I was paired with Tommy Gunn for my first scene, and I'd actually already been familiar with his work. So I told him that. I walked in and I was like, well, I've actually been a fan of you for a while. So,
You remember your reaction the first time you saw professional nudes of yourself?
Oh, I honestly did not recognize myself. Who is that? I'd never had professional makeup or pictures taken before walking onto a set, so it was very much, I don't know who that is. Very starstruck. Like I'm still amazed every time someone wants to interview me or something. Just like I'm take amateur nudes for the internet. That's it.
Yes, I mean, from watching a movie for you to actually doing one, what was that entire process like for you?
Well, I didn't realize how much of a film it is. You know, you watch porn and you don't realize how much it is filmed like a movie, like with so many cameras in the room. And I always assumed people just did some of the crazy porn positions, like reverse cowgirl. I was like, why does anyone do that position that way in porn? And now I know it's for the camera. And I just thought that porn stars were just such sexual athletes that that's how they wanted to be having sex. So I've definitely learned it's a little bit like a Pilates class sometimes. You're definitely like, okay, I'm gonna do squats in this one very specific way for exactly this much time. It's more scripted than I expected.
At what point in this process does it hit you that you're about to do your first professional adult scene?
Ooh, well, like I said, people have been watching me have sex for a while, so it was actually before I actually got on set. It was when I got off the plane and had never been to Vegas and had never met my agent in person before, so I didn't realize any of it was real. And then I just stepped out onto the Vegas Strip and saw the lights for the first time, and I was like, I've really walked into a parallel dimension where people are taking pictures of me, and I'm in this strange Technicolor world of Vegas, and it was just quite a rush.
You're launching your OnlyFans in January. Tell me about that.
Well, my OnlyFans launch. I've been wanting to build up a library of content before I launch my OnlyFans platform, because when people subscribe, I want them to already have,
Right,
a
right.
nice bank of things. So I'm currently filming content and trying to get as many genres as possible. So I hit everyone's, favorite kink box. And I'm going to be launching that in early January, which is also when I'm about to have my degree. So I will be able to go moving from academic mode to full content production mode, which is going to be fun.
The content you're doing, will it be different than stuff you shoot for companies like Tushy or Vixen? Will it be stuff specifically for your OnlyFans?
Yes. I mean, it's a lot more amateur than professional right now, because I'm so new at this. But I think it's going to be a more authentic representation of my sexuality. I'm shooting a lot with actual partners and people who I have, fun, pleasurable sex with. So if people want to see me have a million real orgasms, then they should subscribe to my OnlyFans for sure. It's also going to be a little bit more creative. I play a lot of Girl Next Door and, young, sweet roles in professional content, and I'm gonna throw some of my, goth girl alternative stuff on OnlyFans. So I definitely want to make things that the people want. So I've been asking my fans on Instagram what they want to see, and I want to make sure that I make something for everyone. But I'm also gonna make some stuff that's, what I want to make. So yeah.
You're doing your first Cherry Punch show this weekend or Friday?
Yes, that's right.
Is that your first webcam show? Is that?
Yes, I've never webcammed, so this will be interesting. I'm currently shopping for some toys for that show, so I'm planning to, bring the things that I like using in my real life, and but it'll definitely be my first time on cam, so I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
You did a boy girl shoot for Hustler?
I did just do a shoot for Hustler. It was a boy girl shoot with Brad Newman, and it was so much fun. We had a few pages of dialogue, and so we got to really get into the roles and act, and it was so much fun. It was fantastic.